First, thank you everybody for joining. Very happy that you were able to join. This is Patricia or Trisha. She's a UGC content creator and content strategist. She's worked with top brands like Coca-Cola, Under Armour, Lemonade, Magic Spoon, and lots of more DTC brands. And she's gonna, I'll leave the microphone to you, Patricia. Thank you for doing this.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks so much everyone for being here and for Shin for, reaching out to me about this. Today I'll be talking just about how to leverage UGC and mainly how to turn one UGC asset into multiple, different assets. And so just to, dive in, give a little introduction on myself and UGC. So as you may know, UGC has been around for a while, but there's been more attention to it within the past year or so. At least on the creator side, there was a massive growth for people who wanted to be like a UGC creator and make more UGC for brands. And brands are also starting to use UGC more and more in order to drive engagement and conversions. And most of the time, because it is cheaper than traditional influencer marketing, right? So just tell you a little bit about myself. I am a full-time content creator and I mainly specialize in doing UGC and paid ads. I also do some creative strategy for a few DTC brands. And I formerly worked for a larger agency in the past. And then, after years of kind of doing that and some freelancing on the side, I wanted to take my own route. And that's why I started getting, doing content creation. And yeah, as Shin mentioned, I've worked with over 50 brands now. And, it ranges like the different niches, mostly in the DTC space, but I've worked with many different brands. And yeah, let's just get into the agenda. So exactly, these are what the points I'll be talking about. So just defining what UGC is, seeing how it is right now in 2024, turning UGC into multiple assets, and then some best practices, and then a Q&A at the end if you guys have any questions. So what exactly is UGC? I know it's sort of a gray area right now. I know a lot of people tend to confuse it sometimes as well, just like regular influencers, but UGC is any content that showcases the product. And, as I have a picture here, just Coca-Cola, that famous campaign, Share Coke, people, drinking the bottle. And there's also, I guess the main distinction I would say is there's now the authentic UGC, like that's the one that's been that's existed for a while. And there's also the creator generated UGC where creators are getting paid to make this type of content. And I think the main difference between that and being an influencer is influencers are posting it to their page and that's what they're mainly getting paid for. Whereas creators, this UGC is just being used for a brand social or their paid ads most of the time. And UGC and paid ads when combined can be very powerful when together because of the authenticity of UGC and using the tactics of direct response marketing and paid ads as well. So where is UGC now in 2024, right? So UGC, as I mentioned, was kind of just that content that people would post and brands would use, but now it's become more of a creator generated content where creators are getting paid to make it. And it is predicted to be a huge, huge industry even now and growing more so in the future. And there's many trends in UGC, like the authenticity of it and showcasing the actual user plus the storytelling that's involved that really stands out. And it seemed to really impact the decision making when it comes to a consumer, obviously, because it increases their trust in the brand and that social proof within it. And if you are looking to get UGC, you can there's a few things you can do, right? So there's guided questions where you can provide questions to people and just ask them to tell their story of using the product and how they've used it, and also showing the demonstration, because I feel like that's really important, at least for many of the brands that I've worked with, actually providing the product demonstration. You can also incentivize your users to make reviews through your marketing, whether it be your newsletter or some sort of challenge. And really what I've seen, especially if you are paying a creator for UGC, the more specific you are and the more directions you give, that's usually better. You can still leave creative freedom. You can still provide that creativity and leave it to them in some cases, but definitely provide a guideline and what you're looking for. Also for influencers, you'll get a lot of different variations. So if you want it to be like a certain length, like showcase specific benefits or messaging, I would emphasize those points and really have a good creative brief that can, that's clear for them to understand, because that will just help you maintain that like branding that you have. And then just for authentic UGC, you can obviously, if you really want the true customer experience, you can just ask people to tell their story and like really get their genuine reaction. And here are just some questions, and I think there's gonna be a recording shared around, so you don't have to worry about like kind of memorizing all this, but these are some questions you can ask that can generate that, UGC. So one of them could be like, how has X product change or improve a specific aspect of your life? If you want something more fun, you could get people to like make a vlog of themselves using it. And yeah, so these are just a few questions that you can ask and some prompts. And then if you are making a whole brief, then you can like keep these in mind for what you'd like them to say. So now getting into the actual part of the presentation, the main part of it. Now let's say you already have the UGC photo or video. How can we turn it into multiple assets? So I'm just going to show a UGC video that I've made in the past because like the rest of the presentation kind of goes off of this one video. So I'm just going to show it, and also just to give an example of a piece of work that I've done. So let me just play this video.
Ever hit that afternoon slump, especially in the middle of doing work? I know I have. As a content creator, I'm always on the go, juggling calls, shoots, edits, and I don't drink coffee. But Verb bars, they've been my game changer. It's a tasty pick-me-up that keeps me charged, especially during those intense recording sessions. Less than 110 calories, natural caffeine, and it tastes so good. This was my reaction the first time I tried. It's the energy I need without the jittery feeling. And thousands of others also use Verb as their daily energy sidekick. Why pay more for a coffee when this pocket-sized powerhouse gives you natural energy for less than $2? Give Verb bars a try today.
So I just want to give you as an example and kind of work through that for the whole presentation. So yeah, that was a video I made for Verb, and I'm actually just part of the creator program, and I made that video for fun. And I really liked their bars, like genuinely, like that bar that I tasted was really good. So yeah, and yeah, so kind of moving forward from that.
Ever hit that afternoon
Oops,
slump?
that's really good. Okay, there. One way you can take that video, right? If you have a video, you can turn it into different ads. And obviously there's so many different ads that can be made. So one way to do that is to make that video into a testimonial. So this one specifically, that top one is just a graphic, right? With the main messaging. So this is not me, this is Annie, as you can see, but it's whatever that main messaging is in that ad. You can take whatever she said. So right here, she's saying, from nursing to school to the gym, right? And Verb is all about like giving that natural energy. So that's one way you could do it. And this is very easy. I personally just use Canva sometimes. I know a lot of brands use Canva, right? And you can just put that testimonial alone. One way you can also do it is, this is like a bit of another way, but if you take that video and you also have a few other videos, you could turn it into a compilation, right? Or make it into a carousel post. And you can repurpose these not just on Facebook, but also on TikTok, Instagram Reels, stories, like whatever it may be. I feel like I'm seeing a lot more of those testimonial, just those pictures on Instagram stories. And if there's a specific creator that's working well, or if there is a winning message in the ads, you could also use that as new information to build new ads. And you still want to maintain like the authenticity of it when you are using it. But I would just say, when you are using it, you can really repurpose it in so many different ways. And there are some times I've worked with some brands where really they've worked with many different creators, but for some reason there's just like one creator that's performing for ads, or there's one specific messaging, right? You can be testing out so many different messages, and that might be the case. So you could be doing this and test this out for all different types of ads and see that one's working well. But yeah, I just want to say that to kind of let you know from my experience. Yeah, so that's just one way to repurpose that one video, turn it into a testimonial, and just turn it into different ads. And then another way is to use UGC and put it on your website. So this, I think, is the most common way, at least even when I wasn't even doing UGC, I would see this very often. So you can use UGC for storytelling. So as you can see, Verb, I literally just screenshotted parts of their website, but this woman right here, holding Verb up, has one of those other like testimonial graphics. And even if you just have one photo or one video, you can still insert it into your website and take parts of that and kind of put it throughout. This can really transform how potential customers perceive your brand, and it adds that layer of trustworthiness within it. And there is like a key in placement. So if you use it on your product pages, it can show real users like enjoying your product, and also tells that story that resonates with visitors, like something they can relate to, right? And if you put it on your homepage or certain sections, that can still influence the buying decisions. And basically, you can integrate it into various website sections, including like blogs, product pages, and it's a good idea to create like a seamless blend of it across between the UGC and across your brand messaging. And then next, each social platform has its different things that you can put on it, so you can adapt UGC to fit the style of the platform. So, for example, you might be seeing, I don't think I have it on here, but TikTok Shop, like a lot of people are using TikTok Shop now to kind of have that UGC. So I'm not sure if, like, I've seen a lot of consumer brands use it as well, but that's trending. And then if not that, then there's also, obviously, you can make so many different assets out of it on social media. So on Instagram, you can just repost whatever it was and have like a nice fun caption. You can repost on TikTok. You can also post it as just standalone micro content on stories. And you can still, don't edit it too much if you are posting it, because the goal is to just enhance whatever. If you're editing it, don't like overshadow whatever that person is saying. You can also encourage interaction by crafting posts that invite like comments and shares. And personally, from brands that I've worked with in the past, posting UGC, I know it depends from brand to brand, but it has turned out really well, like more than the other videos, because it just shows someone that they can relate to. So you can ask questions in the caption, share polls, and just start discussions around it. So that's another way you can use UGC. And like I said, it's very easy. You could just repost that, or if you're not the one reposting it, ask someone else to repost it, and there's going to be like a kind of an effect from that. Then aside from that, you can also put it in your email newsletter or a sequence. So emails with UGC can significantly increase engagement. So if you use customer testimonials, different images, or stories as part of your regular newsletters or marketing sequences, you can feature that customer and put even like a longer form testimonial, or even link to that video or embed it directly. And this approach can just make it more relatable and engaging for the audience. So whenever you have a piece of UGC, though, you always include like a clear call to action for what you want them to do, whether it's like to check out a new product, leave a review, or give you a follow on like your social media. Just make it really clear and compelling. And then you can add a video in there, like a quote from the video or a picture or whatever it may be. This is the specific one that I got from Verb, and I just screenshotted it. So it says like, thanks for your support. I think this was a Black Friday one. So you can see that they linked their new chocolate chip peanut butter caffeinated protein bar in there, and there's early access. And then they put just a few simple testimonials, right? But it's not even like anything crazy. They just took from, let's say it was my video, for example, they could just take that messaging from that, and then they linked that product page directly. So that's just one way to do it, and I see it very often in many different email newsletters. So that is one way. If you haven't done that yet, definitely try doing that. And yeah, just a summary, and I'm still going to be kind of talking more about best practices right after this, but just a summary of the value of repurposing UGC. Like I said, it really increases that, trustworthiness and relatableness, and that confidence when your buyer is making that like purchase. It's like, oh, there's just that extra layer of confidence. And then just recapping what I've mentioned, so you can repurpose UGC in your ads, turning it into different ads. You can repurpose it in social media, in your website, and then also in your email newsletter. So there's many different ways. Even if you just have a bit of UGC, you can start collecting that and, you know, getting all that UGC to really make it have a large effect. And just some best practices. So you can use different platforms and agencies to find UGC creators and collect UGC. If you already have, I know some brands, you know, some brands out there already have so many users like just raving about their product. So that's awesome. You can just repurpose that right away. But if not, there's various platforms that you can use. And now there's also more agencies that are out there. And at least from the creator side, there's so many creators starting UGC nowadays. And I guess if you really want someone who drives like results, definitely find people who have like those screenshots or statistics from previous like ads that they've made and just like good testimonials, because I know there's many creators, so you probably have to filter through them if you are hiring. And like I said, get clear on what you're looking for, because you can just get a range. Like I've worked one time on like an influencer campaign like way in the beginning, and it was just a range of different content. So if you want to stay on brand, just make sure you have those like key benefits, those like unique value props, like, you know, those unique things about your product that will make it stand out. And yeah, so just get clear on what you're looking for, and definitely have a contract. If you are paying a creator directly, like that's a big thing. Have a contract. Sometimes the creators will have their own contract, but if you have your own, then that works even better, because it just, you know, I think there's also a lot more legal issues that are coming up with creators, and like when it comes to like usage rights and whitelisting and things like that. So just have that in place to make sure nothing goes wrong. And then, like I said, maintain the authenticity while repurposing. And yeah, that is kind of a brief overview on UGC. And I think I'm going to dive in if there are any questions. And yeah, before I get into the questions, you can find me on Instagram. It's just my name, as well as my email is also just my name. And then my portfolio is also linked here. But can you talk a little bit about different strategies like pay per video versus affiliate? Yeah, sure. So I would say I definitely have more experience on the pay per video side, but actually I've joined a decent amount of affiliate programs as well. So if you are hiring pay per video, I would say there's platforms out there. There's like Billo, there's Incense, there's platforms out there where you can pay less for UGC creators. Because sometimes a lot of UGC creators, so for me, what I personally do is just to be transparent, I usually just charge out like a slightly higher rate upfront, rather than doing like the percentage for like usage rights, because some UGC creators charge like 30% for every 3 months or something like that. But I just feel like it makes it more complicated for the brand to like calculate all of that. So I just have like a flat rate usually. And a lot of UGC creators now are also doing like bundles. So if you do bundles up front, it's like you pay less per video. And yeah, so that's one way you can do it, is just paying per video. And then for affiliate, I've seen a lot of brands grow great affiliate programs. So I've helped a few brands like build out their creative programs and their like affiliate programs. And you can just give them a certain amount, right? Like if you think you have like a strong customer base, and you can even, I think this is like later down the line, I feel like for affiliate, maybe have your brand a little bit more established before going into it, just so you know like that you are getting, you know, your benefits from it. And at least for Verb, I guess, for example, they actually give a large like I would say it's like if every person you can get to buy, they give you $40. So it's quite big, like the referral program. And you don't have to do that right in the beginning. You can even just give like a small percentage. But I would say before you do affiliate, maybe try like building a community first. And then if you don't have that yet, you can still just get pay per video and pay for that UGC. And what kind of information goes into the contract? So I would say it's mainly basic information like your deliverables and what to expect. For the brand side, you might also want kind of a clause on when you need it by, because some creators, I know sometimes it's like they won't submit it until after like 2 or 3 weeks, and like that might be like a very long time, right? It like doesn't meet the deadline. So definitely have something there, like if you don't meet the deadline, then, you know, blah blah blah, like just, you know, just to protect yourself in case that creator like does ghost you or that influencer, because that has happened with campaigns I've done in the past. So definitely include that. From the creator side, they'll definitely, or even for the brand side actually, like usage, like how much usage you want for it, if you want for just organic or if you want for also paid ads, like make that clear. yeah, I would say those are the three big things for contracts. And I just use like DocuSign or, HelloSign, like something like that. Or you could just do it manually as well, but you can also just automate it through a software. Do you have any advice for a new startup that wants to leverage affiliates more than pay for video? I've heard if your product hasn't been proven yet. Yeah, I would say for new startups that want to leverage affiliate, I guess there is one brand that I'm working with right now, and I feel like they have gotten a lot of traction. A lot of users are, showing off the product. So in that case, if you are just starting out, I would say we just really dial down on those people who are like, if there is anyone responding to you, or if there's anyone kind of, engaging with like your emails or content, definitely reach out to them and, just have like a personalized email to them asking them that if they can make a video. And sometimes honestly, these people will do it for free because they do like your product, like even the reviews that people are leaving, if you can reach out to them. Like, I know it's a bit hard sometimes because it is like, sometimes it can be hard to reach those customers, but definitely do that. And then in terms of building out the affiliate program, just have like a strong, like make sure you have a strong kind of like brand playbook. I know if you're a startup, you might just be developing that like a brand guideline, but have that out. So like your values, your main messaging, and like what you're really looking for, because then that can help you filter out doing like getting more affiliates and having a strong like network. Because a lot of the time I know that, for example, I even sign up for an affiliate program, sometimes I just get the emails, I don't really do anything from it. So just make sure that the people that you're like working with and trying to get as affiliates like are clear on like what you're doing and like the incentive that you're putting behind it. And then who owns rights to the video? Is all that established in the contract? Yeah. So for the UGC creator, most of the time, if you don't pay for the usage rights, you really can't use it for paid ads, which is why it's like, for me, I just think if you're buying the video already, right, you're probably going to use it for paid ads. So that's why I don't really like charging for that in general. But most of the time, if you haven't paid for those usage rights, or if you don't say it in the contract, so sometimes you can just put it in the contract, and if a UGC creator reads it and doesn't say anything, then like that's fine. So you can just make sure to put the company owns the rights to the content for paid ads and social media and whatever else you want to use it for.
If you don't mind,
And
I want to
then,
add on to. I'm so sorry. May I add on to that?
no, it's okay. Yeah, for sure. Go
Awesome.
ahead.
Awesome. Thank you so much for this presentation. I have one really quick question. Regarding the usage rights, say for example that you created something, and then what they've done is they've started to cut up the video that you created into little bits, right?
Mm-hmm.
Say you create a 45-second video, right? And just as an example, they divide it into 3 different videos, and they took different sections of that video and then repurpose it into ads, like you mentioned. Do they does it need to be explicitly mentioned in the contract that is either A, allowed, or B, not allowed, or C, must be done under the supervision of the UGC creator like yourself?
Right. Yeah.
I know
No,
it's
that's a
very
great
technical.
question.
What do you think?
Yeah, honestly, personally for me, once they've paid for the actual like video, like the longer video, I think it's fine if they repurpose it. Because if they are already using it for ads, if you really do want to be careful, you can put something like that. But I think most creators, I've been in it for like a year or two now, and I think most creators would be okay with you just cutting it up and compiling it as well.
So it's not a matter of, it doesn't need to get too technical. It just really depends on the relationship between the creator and
Yes,
the
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Usually, I guess the main thing that creators would kind of like not be sure about is if you are using it for paid ads and you didn't tell them. So if like usually for the paid ads, like as long as if you're paying for like the usage rights fee or whatever it is, or if they said you're allowed to use it for paid ads, then you can just use it however you'd like for ads.
One more question. What's the difference between creating UGC for paid ads versus just for organic posts?
Yeah, I guess it's really, so I honestly, for me, like I guess like why creators charge for it is because they know that brands can like that ads obviously like reach
right.
a larger, it's a guaranteed reach, and like the brands are probably getting money, like more revenue from it. So yeah, I guess that's the main thing. Although I honestly don't know when it like occurred that people are starting charge more for usage rights, because I've heard some creators charge like very large amounts for usage rights, but I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's the main difference.
Thank you, Patricia.
Yeah, of course. I guess continuing on to the questions, where can we get some contract templates? I just have my own that I found like for free online, and I consulted someone else about it. So I think there's a lot of different resources you can use, and just like make a quick search online and just search like, freelancer. You can even just like use like like a existing contract you have and kind of edit that down and make sure you have like the main components. But yeah, just do a quick search online, I would say. I just got mine also online, so that's like where I would say to get it. In regards to affiliate programs, I use the GoApp Pro Shopify app and get coupon sites to create accounts. Should I ban those accounts, or are they actually adding value? Personally, I'll be honest, I have not, like, I don't do a lot of like the coupon sites, like, so I'm not exactly sure about that. I'm not sure if either Shin or, anyone else has any input on that, but I am not exactly sure. I guess you don't already, if you're not seeing like value from them, then, or if you can't see like exact like metrics of what is happening, then maybe ban them. But if you could also just leave them and see like how, if, like, I guess it depends on like how long you've had them, if you are seeing value from it. But that's all I can say. And if anyone else has any input for that in the chat, like, that'd be great. But best way to find affiliates and incorporate them easily into your Shopify store. So I know that a lot of brands use Shopify Collabs, and I think from what I've heard, at least in the creator end, a lot of creators are also using this as well. So if you are able to do that, and I've used it myself, like, you can just do that easily. But I haven't run a ton of affiliate programs just like through Shopify. So I guess that's what I would say for that. But if anyone else has any other input, yeah, and then any sites or communities, yeah, these are some in the past below. Personally, like when I started out, I did use a lot of these platforms, but I would say a lot of the more experienced creators kind of are not on these apps anymore, and they're trying to find more agencies to partner with. So if there are any agency owners in here, like a lot of UGC creators are looking to partner with agencies. And yeah, aside from that, I've also heard like mini social, things like that. I think you just pay out a flat rate. And then if not, you can also, there's a ton of UGC creators on Instagram. Like if you just do a quick search on, so on different social platforms, you can just do a quick search and then definitely look at their portfolio, because that will have like most of their work and any statistics. So that's what I would say. And yeah, so I think that's the main ways. And yeah, if you guys have any UGC like content needs, I run a membership community and also have a large network of like over 400 creators that I coach. And so if you all need any content, I have like a large range. There's like all different people like that can make UGC for all different brands. So feel free to just shoot me an email, and I'll actually just drop it in the chat so you guys, if you need to copy paste it. But yeah, I think some others are answering the questions that I couldn't give much input on in the chat, so that's great. But yeah, I think if that's all the questions, maybe I'll wait another 3 seconds. Yeah, thank you so much for listening. And I know it's Valentine's Day, so I hope you all enjoy the rest of your Valentine's Day as well. But Jen, I'm not sure if you have anything else to say, but yeah, on my end, thank you so much.
Thank you, Patricia.
Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, Patricia. No, nothing else to add. Yeah, that was pretty fun. I do have a question. What do you have any agencies that you work with that would be vetted by you, that you think like, okay, yeah, these are kind of agencies? Yeah, I mean, just any recommendation of UGC agencies.
Oh yeah, I guess any recommendation. I mean, I personally work with one called Sapphire Studios. I don't know if you all have heard of that, but those two founders, they were like Forbes 30 under 30, and like I've like had good experience working with them. And usually can get at like a lower rate for that. That's like for content specifically. And other agencies that I work with, I haven't worked with a ton, to be honest, because if I do work with them, because I don't know, since I am a creator, but I also make ads and do some creative strategy, like some people say that I am an agency myself. So if I work with other agencies, it's usually just to get some more contacts or connections. So yeah, I don't really have any off the top of my head that I've worked with.
All right, amazing. Also, do you have a link to the membership community you're talking about?
Yeah, for sure. I can drop that in the chat. Yeah, if you guys know anybody who is looking or like is a creator or you have creators, that's like I basically coach them and also teach them. I feel like a lot of UGC coaches right now don't really teach like Judge this month marketing or actually converting for clients. It's a lot of just like authentic or like, you know, aesthetic content. So that's what I really try to focus on. But
All right. I love it. Amazing. Well, thank you so much. I'll reach out to you regarding this community because I do know some
yeah,
people that
cool.
might want to join.
Yeah, no, that would be great.
All right.
Awesome.
Amazing. Thank you, Patricia. And thank you everyone
Thank
for
you so
joining.
much, everyone. Yeah, thanks for joining. Bye.